If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your fatal words I will choke.
Happy Action Monday to everyone in the sports universe. It is November the 7th, 2022. This is the AM Drive on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook pages. 4 thumbs up. Sammy Action, it's been 2 weeks. I am Michael Carvaz. What's going on, Sammy?
I'm happy to be back, man. I missed my my Sunday routine, being able to watch football all day with the kiddos and the wife. Been doing a lot of traveling this last couple of weeks, so I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, I heard you saw a hockey game with a few fights. That must have been fun.
We went to our local affiliate minor league hockey team. The Golden Knights, they were a new franchise, so they had no minor league team really, and so they built one here in Las Vegas as well. And so we went and checked out their minor league team. It was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun experience.
I want you to tell the people what your kids were chanting. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, so we tell the kids, you chant "Go Knights Go" and you chant, a bunch of different things with the crowd. But when somebody gets hit really hard, if you start chanting "Fight," sometimes they fight. So my 6-year-olds are sitting there in the crowd. We're in the second row, and they're going "Fight, fight, fight!" And all of a sudden, a fight breaks out right in front of them. My kids are like,
"Oh my gosh, they're such angels, Sammy."
Oh, it was so funny. So the fight happens right in front of them. They're not sure if they should still be chanting or if they should be trying to help somebody. It was really cute.
Right. That's not supposed to happen.
Right.
You're not supposed to actually fight.
The impact of their words. But yeah, the fight was pretty cool. We actually saw 2 fights at the game. One right in front of us, one a little bit further away. But it was all in good fun. My kids had a good sense of humor about it. But they like hockey. We're gonna take them to a Knights game too this year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The website below is pretty cool. It's mikeandaarondrive.com. Sorry, Sammy, you got snubbed. It's our sponsors, shop, socials, and YouTube pages all in one place. And because the Chiefs finally won in overtime, you can use the code Mahomes for free shipping on mikeandaarondrive.com and clicking the Our Shop logo. Sammy needs merchandise. All right, so let's get into that Sunday night football game. The Chiefs beat the Titans in overtime. A couple of things are good in life. Death, taxes, and Patrick Mahomes not being stopped. It just does not happen. For 3.5 quarters, they stopped him, but the Chiefs were knocking on the door for a long time. The Chiefs were moving the ball, but then they would stall out. And Titans had a great, perfect game plan, but even that was not good enough, especially if they don't even trust their own quarterback. I understand Malik Willis is young and he's raw, but you have to have more than one game plan of running the football. You just have to. Chiefs are a different animal. They played it perfectly, but it wasn't perfect enough.
Absolutely. And, this game comes down to one simple thing. This is all Tom Dietz's fault. And Tom Dietz is a guy who we talk about a lot of times at work. He has some interesting takes on sports. But he came out last week and said that Josh Allen was bar none the best quarterback in NFL right now, mostly because of what he does with his legs. And so clearly Patrick Mahomes read that tweet because he came out this week and then slaughtered Tennessee, not with his arm, but with his legs, just to re-solidify himself as the top quarterback in the league again. And on top of that, he still leads the league in passing, so it's not like he's far behind that category either. But, I mean, what you're saying is true. The Tennessee defense was absolutely outstanding. Mike Vrabel put forth a great plan. Unfortunately, they had no offensive game plan. I mean, They basically, the whole idea was pound Derrick Henry on first down and then hope, right?
Hope there's no flags. There was a bunch of them.
Yeah. Hope there's a flag. Hope Malik Willis can break a play. Hope that their tight end rumbles for 60 yards like they did on the first play. But I mean, this was not an NFL offense. They threw the ball for 70 yards, 60 of it on the first play of the game.
Right.
They threw what, 15 passes, 4 of which were complete. You can't beat the Chiefs that way. I mean, they tried, they got close, but you can't beat the Chiefs that way.
Yeah, another thing I'll say about this game is, and to their Tom Geets or whatever his face is point about legs, I will say one of the key plays in the Super Bowl against the 49ers to me was early in the fourth quarter where it's like 3rd and 12 and Mahomes like just runs up the sideline for a first down. But I don't feel like the Chiefs offense ever gets going if not for that. I feel like he is one of the smartest runners I've ever seen. Like there is a time to run, and Mahomes you would run a little bit more because he's actually not a slow runner. He is a former baseball player, like a lot of good young quarterbacks are. But it's interesting to see he was willing to in this game at any cost. And again, he's smart. He does not get hit at all. And teams will not blast him out of bounds like they will at Jalen Hurts because he won't give him physical contact. He'll say, hey, I'm going to prance over here and just get out of bounds, get a first down, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He's also very deceptively fast. I mean, you could see some of the Titans defenders were kind of shocked that he got by himself. Yeah, because I mean, he doesn't look like he's going to run by you, but it seems like time and again, if you get him in even footing, he's gonna make a move and go right by someone, and he creates a lot of open space for himself. I think your point is perfect. He's a very smart runner. He doesn't utilize it as much as he probably could, but doesn't have to because he does so much with his arm. I mean, we haven't even talked about the shot put pass he threw last night, which is like the 4th different style pass he's thrown this year. Now he has an underhand, sidearm, shot put. He's got the alley-oop,
the layup.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's just so creative in so many ways. But yeah, he's brilliant with his legs as well, and it was a marvel to watch. Tennessee put forth a great plan. It was incredible to see them try to stop him, and at the end they just couldn't.
To me, his footwork is the best thing. Like, it goes to your point about deceptively fast. Maybe it's that he's so good with like deceptively like dancing around. Like there was this one play where he shook a defender, and the defender just freezes, and I'm like, well, tackle him, dude. And I'm like, how does he like frozen like that? I couldn't believe it. And Mahomes just had him like on a tightrope. And Collinsworth said it best. He would not shut up all night. But Collinsworth did say when they moved the pocket, and Mahomes had, because he's very smart when he's outside the pocket. He's like Rodgers when he was in his prime. Like he always makes the right play, always. And it was fantastic.
He gets a couple good, he got the benefit of the good balance with the big Noah Gray pass at the end of the game. He gets some benefit to the doubts too. And then, there was the one penalty where Kelsey ripped off the defender's helmet. They called holding on the defender. That was kind of funny too. But all things considered, it was a Patrick Mahomes show. I mean, he was outstanding again, despite only scoring 20 points. He threw for 400 yards. He ran for another 60 something, and was clearly the best player on the field all night long. And so
he was in control for sure.
Yeah, it's hard not to gush over the guy. And I mean, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I don't root for him, but he's just easy to like, and he's easy to root for. He's a great player.
Yeah, and someone made a great point. As I'll end it here about this, Jackson Mahomes has not said a word. Neither has Brittany. It's insane. Like I don't know. It's almost like someone said he had to talk with them, and it's more. I haven't heard anything about him.
He doesn't need those distractions. I mean, go out and play football.
You think Juju's on TikTok, and Juju's like his number one target. It's really awesome.
Yeah,
and that's got to be something special for the whole coaching staff too.
I mean, when they lost Tyreek Hill, I was one of the people who said, this offense is going to get worse. And you could see how good Tyreek Hill has been with Miami. So that void left in Kansas City, should be difficult to fill.
And Mecole Hardman's not doing a good job. You're right.
Yeah, they found a way to get these other, not so great receivers to put up not the same numbers as Tyreek Hill, right, but still, piecemeal it together so they can still have a really competent offense. And Smith-Schuster had 10 catches again last night. Kelsey again was a beast. They've been using other guys. Now they have Tony, they got from the Giants. They're going to utilize him.
That's huge.
They find ways to get everybody involved. And I mean, 10 guys caught passes last night. I mean, this offense just clicks on all cylinders regardless of who is on the field. And that's incredible. It's a testament to Andy Reid and his staff. And, Tyreek Hill is doing great. I mean, it's not like he was bad. He's putting up unbelievable numbers in Miami. So I have to think they miss him, but they don't.
I have to say the one person I've been disappointed with the most is Mecole Hardman. If it wasn't for his punt returning skills, something about even like this one throw, like Mahomes roped it to him, he just didn't catch it. When he this classic falling to the ground catch Like we saw Valdez Scaling make a good catch like that, but I'm like, Mecole Hardman is either A, not running the right route that Mahomes wants him to, or B, people don't realize Tyreek Hill has some very sure hands. Like the more I see the Chiefs now, like Tyreek Hill caught a lot of passes that these guys are just dropping.
Sure.
But
Well,
it helps with like adding Tony and having Jarrett McKinnon and Juju and all that.
Well, it's funny too because MVS was a deep threat for the Packers. He was their
Right.
go route guy, and they haven't used him that way at all yet, really, in Kansas City. And Mecole Hardman is like the gadget play kind of guy, and they have used him with the reverses and stuff like that. I mean, he caught 2 touchdowns last week or 2 weeks ago, but when this offense is clicking on all cylinders, they have guys who play very interesting roles, better than most other guys in these same roles. So I mean, while none of them are superstars besides Kelsey, they're all very good players, and they're all players they can utilize and put Mahomes behind center, and you have yourself a good offense. Man, this team is really good.
Love it. A team I don't love, and we have to talk about because it happened. The Astros win it all, and I put the Astros there on purpose. Because Sammy, I'll say it again. I know that sometimes teams are just good, but this World Series was very similar to 2017. I'll be honest, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I used to be a Red Sox fan. Even I don't care for them anymore. But I would like to make it be known, it was interesting how clutch their hitting and pitching was at certain spots. I was like, I'm not saying you're banging trash cans, but I'm not saying, you're not caca somewhere in the background. I'm serious. I don't understand what it is, but it's very weird how timely their hitting is. And I hope it's not cheating, but you have to wonder, well, dang, that kind of happened before.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole at all. I don't think there was cheating. If there was, the MLB can investigate it. But I'm very happy for the Astros players who got a little bit of vindication after being booed for years now since they won their last World Series. But I do have a funny story. So we're at dinner the other night, and the Astros win. And I say to my wife, who was, as you may know, is a Niner fan, is a Giants fan from San Francisco. I said, "Oh, the Astros won the World Series. I'm happy for Dusty Baker. He won his first World Series." And there's a bunch of people around us, and she literally turns to me and she says, he would have won 2 if he didn't pull his pitcher in Game 6 of the 2002 World Series. And like 4 people around.
Like, take that ring off your finger. I'm not married to her.
No, I was like, that's like the biggest pride moment ever. I'm like, that's my lady right there.
That's fair. That's my lady, yo.
I'm like, I'm so hot for you right now.
Your kids are like, Dad, are you okay?
I mean, who even quotes such a thing, right? Like 2002 World Series is so far back, but she's scored and she's not going to forget. Which women, you don't want to piss them off.
People look, and you're like, turn around, Buster.
So yeah, that was my proud husband moment of the weekend. But yeah, all joking aside, I'm happy for the Astros. I'm also happy for the Phillies. The Phillies, interim manager coming as a 6th seed and run the table. They played a great season, and I love Bryce Harper. Hats off to him. And so I thought it was a really enjoyable World Series. And I'll tell you one more thing: for the first time in a long time, the World Series had higher ratings than football.
About time. And hey, the pitch clock, Sammy, I keep saying, Mike said it first here. The pitch clock is going to be huge moving forward. Oh, my headphones. But it's going to be huge moving forward when they finally implement that. And I'm excited for how baseball's going to look in a couple years.
I hope so. I mean, I've always been a baseball fan, and I hate to see it kind of falling off the plateau as far as it has. But, I mean, granted, it was a Thursday night football game. It was a Thursday night game on Amazon. It was a bad football game at that. But none of that has ever stopped football before. Right. This is the first time in a long time we've seen baseball sort of put forth a big number. And it was a good World Series matchup. It was a good pitching matchup. So, I mean, there was a lot of reasons why, but you just haven't seen that in a long time. So I'm happy baseball held that mantle, at least for one day.
It's almost like the Astros cheating, like, kind of did help it. Like, people want to see them lose, and they just didn't lose.
Yeah.
The storyline, people don't understand, like, the NFL storylines week to week are just, like, they're mesmerizing. Like, that's why it's so good. So these sports that do it every day, they might be better sports per se, but they're not like so cool because you have to wait in 7 days and talk about this crap. So I think that helped baseball as well, like having that story that was still in people's minds.
It's funny you say that. It's a really good point because that's one of the things I think hockey is lacking. Hockey is a great sport to watch. It's an enjoyable sport live. It's fun to watch even on TV. but there's never really any storylines to follow. I mean, you have to really dig deep. The casual fan can't just throw on SportsCenter, get behind it, some sort of story, and then go watch it. Football
Because he
does
just
a great
recaps and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, football does a great job with that, whether it be trades or whatever. Like they build up these storylines. So
Even
that
the
way you go
NBA,
on-
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very, very fair point about why those sports, succeed versus some of the ones that don't. They build up their narratives very well.
For better or worse sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
When we come back, we're talking LSU did what? Oh, yeah, I'm glad I turned that game on when I did. I'll explain. Also, Rodgers and Brady took two different trajectories this week career-wise. Wasn't a good thing for one of them. And also, I have a take on Frank Reich if we have time. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, baseball fans, NASCAR fans, and MLS fans, there are three teams/players that have won the championships in their respective sports, and you need the merchandise, you Joey Logano lovers, you LA Galaxy freaks, you Astros banging. I'm not even going to do that, but you get it. Go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and do what, Sammy?
Click the F.
Where's it at, Sammy? Yeah, he got it the first time. Good. We've been going that long. Good. MikeandAaronDrive.com. Click the F, the Fanatics logo. It's at your disposal. It's great stuff there. Trust me. The gear is there. That's where you go. So don't worry about it. Is it NBA shop? No, it's MikeandAaronDrive.com. That Fanatics logo. You're welcome. All right. So LSU. Sammy, I don't know if I've been wrong about Brian Kelly because I don't know how his tenure is going to end up working out. But this turnaround, they suffered 2 early losses, LSU did. And to make Alabama the laughingstock this weekend, as I told people going to this weekend, college football playoff committee had this set up perfectly for Alabama. Tennessee was number 1 because they beat Alabama and Georgia was going to handle them. And that happened. Texas was the only 3-loss ranked team in the playoff committee standings, and I believe they ended up winning. Yeah, they did win. And then all Alabama had to do was beat LSU. And I don't know what happened to Bryce Young. I think it was under 50% completion. But I'll just fast forward. I turned this game on with about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I'm glad I did because I was like, oh, great, overtime. That means Alabama. But I thought to myself, when LSU got the ball, depending on how they score here, I'm going for it. Why wear down? Because Alabama's got the better players. They technically do. I mean, you guys got beat by freaking Florida State. No offense, Aaron Crouch. But it's Brian Kelly, give him the credit for the guts. Again, I don't know how this works out with him in the future, but he earned a lot of my respect for a guy who always was pretty much destroyed in the big game with Notre Dame. And this was a great job by LSU.
For sure. I got the opportunity to watch the game as well, and I was thoroughly impressed with LSU. And I'll tell you, I am not a big fan of going for 2. It's not been a thing that I think should be done as often as it does happen. But this is one of the rare cases where I really agree with it. And here's my reason why. Bryce Young had just taken the tie down to score the game-tying field goal at the end of the game. It was a very contested drive. The defense put a lot of effort into it to try to stop him. They got the stop, very emotional high. Then Alabama gets the ball first in overtime. So the LSU declined it. What?
LSU declined that too. I was like, oh my, what are they doing?
Right, but they put their defense right back out on the field, right? And their defense was already tired. And so now it's another tough drive, another emotional drive where they put up a stand, put up a big fight. And then, of course, Bama scores. And then Jaden Daniels scores on the first play for LSU. So if they kick the extra point, you're putting your defense right back out on the field again.
That's a good
after
point.
Having just done, 13, 15 plays, in a row, basically. And while I know they're young kids and then, fatigue is still a thing. And so I thought their defense was pretty tired. I thought that this was a good opportunity. Just win or lose right here. You're not going to stop them again. They're going to score a touchdown every time they touch the ball for the rest of the game is my take. And so I was happy they went for 2, and I'm happy they got it. I always enjoy rooting against Alabama. So I was happy to see them lose, and it was joyful for me. So it made for a good Saturday. But yeah, great game.
America would have been a very happy place if Astros did lose too, but America can deal with. I tweeted out I get the Astros won the World Series, but right now LSU beating Alabama is that much bigger in my opinion. Because I know Thursday Night Football was like the Game 5 or whatever, but Game 6 I think was Saturday. I'm like, oh, who cares? LSU won, we're good. But no one saw that coming. To be fair, no one. I don't even think. I think LSU wanted to believe that, but in their, those players know dang well who Alabama is.
For sure.
See, I mean, I don't want to go on this hole just yet because we don't have a lot of time here. I think Oregon Ducks deserve a boatload of credit. Oregon's only talking about teams that should be in the top 4. I know TCU's undefeated. Oregon technically is too. Their first loss, week 1, with a brand new coach, and they get smacked by Georgia, and it's like, well, I'm not saying Georgia wouldn't beat them again, but Oregon deserves a lot of credit, especially if we're going to put the 4th. Now that Clemson's gone, now we have a Georgia, we have a Ohio State or Michigan. Those 2 last teams are going to be crucial. And I think Oregon definitely deserves to be one of them right now.
Well, assuming everybody runs the table, and it seems likely, you're going to have Georgia versus LSU in the SEC championship. But Georgia
ice cream. Sorry.
Yeah. And so you're only going to get one team from the SEC this year, if that's the case. On top of that, you're going to have, Michigan versus, Ohio State play each other. So the winner of that game will probably make it. So you still, like you said, have 2 spots to claim. TCU, if they go undefeated, deserves a spot. So that last spot could easily go to Oregon. Oregon's in the top 10, I want to say now. And
top 6 before, whatever.
Yeah, they're up there already. And like you said, their only loss is to the number 1 team in the country. It's not like it's a terrible loss. If they win their conference, then I see no reason they shouldn't be up there as well. I do think that we can basically write off Clemson and Alabama from being in the playoff at this point. I don't think either of them have any business being there. Of course, the committee will find a way. It always seems that they like to upset everybody. But a year of basically everybody new except for Georgia would be enjoyable.
It is insane to me to think that Clemson, I think that was their first loss. But Notre Dame has been strangely competitive on to me, them being at home was almost a relief for them. Because me and Aaron have talked about they played BYU in Vegas. They played at Ohio State. Hung with them like Northwestern did for how that looks now, obviously. But it's it's a big deal because Clemson, they ran through what I thought was the toughest part of their schedule. And then they get caught sleeping against Notre Dame, who's got, 3 losses still or 2 losses at least? Couldn't happen, did happen.
They were calling for this new coach's head after week 2, and all of a sudden now you put a win up against Clemson. And everybody thinks he's the next savior. So Notre Dame future looks bright. We'll see what happens with them. But
your Catholic reference, the new savior. I like that.
but yeah, I think their future looks bright. I think they're going to be a good team. I think Clemson will still be there too. And Debo still will find a way. But not this year. This is a year I hope where we get either a Georgia dynasty or we get somebody completely new.
I think Stetson Bennett, full disclosure, I have been wrong. I did not really see kind of ceiling that was higher than anybody than an apartment building. Like the first floor of an apartment building, and this kid's going up to like the seventh floor. He plays insane. I mean, yeah, and I'm not going to say Hendon Hooker did not have a great defense ahead of him, but Tennessee's defense has shown up a little bit sometimes. Even in the Alabama game, there was times I'm like, that was a pretty good stand by them. Stetson Bennett's just picking everybody apart. I'm like, how is this dude who looks like Aaron Murray, built like Aaron Murray, 10 times better than Aaron Murray? It makes no sense to me.
He is the quintessential college quarterback, right? He's the guy who is on a good team, got good enough talent. Yeah, he overaachieves a little bit. He's not like the Baker Mayfield level of overachievement, right? Where he's the walk-on who wins the Heisman. But I mean, he's close. He's one step down from that. He's not an NFL-ready quarterback. He's not going to be a guy you're going to see on Sundays. But he's a guy who will hold a clipboard and be an offensive coordinator somewhere. I mean, he knows the game well. He's smart. He plays within himself. He makes some big throws from time to time. Right. He relies on his run game and defense. He's exactly what you want if you're trying to build a dynasty in college football.
Unfortunately, 20 years ago, like for instance, these guys we're going to talk about now, like 20 years ago, Stetson Bennett might have been a starting quarterback, but you got the freak shows. Like I made a podcast recently for the AM Drive Audio exclusive series that was like Lamar Jackson might be the Phillip Rivers of this generation, and he's insanely talented. Like it's not even fair. You have to be, because these guys who start off at 8 years old, like Arch Manning, they're going to be insane when they grow up. So you have no chance to fold. That's why I'm like, Daniel Jones has gotten a miracle by surviving as long as he has. I'll admit that.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones was never a guy who was going to win you an NCAA championship at Duke, but I mean, he's playing pretty well now. He's doing a good job this year.
That's not okay. Hush up. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm biased over here. No, Brady won. And let's be honest, these guys both scored 9 points until one guy had the ball last and didn't throw his third interception or second. Did Brady even throw an interception? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
Okay, well, Rodgers threw 3 of his own. One of these teams had to get back on the schneid, and I wouldn't say the Buccaneers barely being a reeling Rams team or a hungover Rams team is not really special, but it's what this team needed. And for the Packers, I think they had like 2 goal line drives that like ended in picks or whatever. That's a problem. Like, I know Brady at least is trying to make it work like with this guy named Cade Otton, this tight end who's all of a sudden being picked up in fantasy. But like Aaron Rodgers' ability to just ghost his, like, I'm not gonna mention the family part, his ability to like just ghost new guys is really hurting him right now. Like he's like being pissed off on the sideline. Of course, when he does that, it's a problem with Tom Brady. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers has a history of being a diva, and I cannot wait for his condescending stuff to come. Oh, life's good, God's good on Pat McAfee's show on Tuesday. I'm gonna love it, but whatever.
I mean, look, I've been on record numerous times to talk about how much better of a quarterback career-wise Brady's been than Rodgers. And last year Rodgers winning the MVP I thought was a little bit of a joke considering how well Brady played. But, be it as it may, he beat him head-to-head. They had a better record, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is straight bad this year. I mean, he's straight trash. This performance against the Lions is awful. I mean, he was terrible. The 2 picks he throws at the goal line are both his fault, 100% his fault. And one of them, he had a guy wide open. One of them dinks off a helmet and, takes a bad carom. Okay. but the fact is he threw it at a guy's helmet, which is, a whole other argument. But the other one, I mean, he had a guy wide open. He just underthrew him from 4 yards away. Later in the game, he had another spot where he had a guy open deep and he underthrew him and the ball didn't get picked off, but got knocked away. I mean, these are his throws. This is his problem. He can pose the blame on, the receivers and the new team or whatever, but the Packers should have seen this coming. He is not a good quarterback anymore, and we need to stop pretending like he is. He's just not a good quarterback right now.
Brady's the same, to be fair. Like, can we be honest about that? Like, Brady has not been a beautiful king either this year.
No, by no means.
But I feel like Brady's ability to want to be a teammate is helping him a little bit more so.
I mean, I give Brady slightly a pass going through all the personal stuff that he's
Oh,
going through.
please.
But with that being said, like at least he still goes out there and tries. Like, he tries to win. Like, the intensity and the emotion that he's showing on the field is completely the opposite of what Aaron Rodgers is showing. Aaron Rodgers is a disgruntled old man, and Brady's coming out trying to win. Like he's getting mad when his players are dropping balls because he wants to win. He's hugging his offensive coordinator because they pull off a win. Like he wants to be there. He wants to be in that moment. Rodgers, it doesn't seem like he does. It seems like he's just pulling off punches. And then he wants to complain about it afterwards. He's been straight trash.
Byron Leftwich needed a hug, and so do I.
So do I.
I'm not gonna come here, Sammy, come here. No, I'm not gonna come here, you big lovable thing. I'm gonna have to leave it there. I'm gonna talk about Frank Reich tomorrow. Thanks so much, Sammy. Wow, that was weird. I was like drunk there for a few. That was weird. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Hope you guys like the new overlay here. For Sammy Action, I'm Mal Carvel saying so long. See you tomorrow on Top 5 Tuesday. Adios.